Hi, I'm Tracy Brown from the LA Times, and we're here at Comic-Con with the cast and showrunner of She-Ra.
Yes!
How are you guys doing today?
Fabulous day.
Amazing.
Yeah, no complaints.
Oh my God, it's been such a whirlwind, but it's been amazing. I was just at a fashion show last night where there's like all these She-Ra dresses that transform. It's amazing.
It was beautiful.
Nice. I understand you've given out little peeks of season 3 now. What are you most excited about your next chunk of story for each of your characters?
Well, listen, we're getting some really continued fun with Catra and Scorpia. They're heading to the Crimson Waste. Obviously, we saw in some of the clips that were shown at our panel earlier that Catra is really taking it upon herself to make a mark, make a name for herself. And Scorpia is just there to support, you know? She just wants to watch her gal do well, and she does. So it's such a joy. That dynamic is so fun. I'm just so excited for people to get to see the next installment.
Adora, on the other hand, is going through an existential crisis.
Another one.
But she, she gets some information that she didn't have before about her identity, and it really just kind of throws her for a loop. So they go to the Crimson Waste. Because there's like mysterious pinging coming from there, and they meet Gina Davis, and it's like fun ensues, and it's a really twisty, turny season, and I can't wait for everybody to see it.
I would say more about my character Frosta's story, but it has spoilers, so I can't say anything, so I'm just gonna move on.
But can you promise you'll be there?
I will be there, and I will be with the rest of the Princess Alliance, and that's all I'm gonna say.
What's up for
Okay,
Bo?
all right. I was going to give it to
Dinner
Noelle.
Audience.
Yeah.
Did I use that correctly? I have no idea.
I have no clue.
Whatever.
But for Bo, Bo's there to, unlike Scorpia, he's there to reluctantly support. So they're both supporting, but in different ways. Obviously, Adora's having her existential crisis. They go to the Crimson Waste. Bo is there to tell her what not to do because she's a very brave soul. But Bo is more on the cautious side. But things definitely do, the characters, you get to see them in lights that you've never seen them before, which I think is really exciting for the season. Bo has always been a shining light of hope and happiness. And things, they take turns, so I'm excited for that. But also, we get to meet Tongue Lashor, which has been I've been so excited to meet this guy. He has such I don't want to spoil anything, but he's a great character. So I've been excited.
#1 Tongue Lashor fan.
Yeah, exactly. I've always been a Tongue
Cosplay.
Lashor. Yeah, I've always been a Tongue Lashor supporter.
I think for me, this season is so much about character, and I think it's about pushing the characters in, like pushing their perceptions of themselves as far as we can. So, you know, for Adora as the hero, Catra as the villain, Scorpia as the loyal friend, you know, Glimmer as someone who's pushing against her destiny as this princess. She's getting frustrated with the limits of her power, and Bo as the friend who's there for everybody. And all of them are reaching a point where they have to reconsider sort of who they are, if those labels truly fit them, and what it means for them going forward. So we tried some stuff with this season. I'm really psyched. It gets weird. It gets a little wild. So I'm excited for people to see it. Definitely.
Well, season 2 was lots of pain for Adora, and sheer growing pains. Are we still going down that path?
Oh, she's in for a world of pain. Like, she has no idea what's happening. But that's life. That's growing up. You know, I think it's a good. I keep using the word metaphor, but that's not right. It's a mirror for what people actually go through. It just so happens that she's going through, like, you know, in a very intense, magical kind of way, spiritual way. But yeah, it doesn't get easier for her. No, it gets worse.
And I feel like Adora, especially since she is this hero, and it's like I feel like we as women who, like, you know, in our jobs, in our lives all the time, you know how intense that pressure can be to be the perfect hero all the time. And Adora takes that really seriously. But it also just means that she's always sort of like having to question herself and question if she's doing enough or doing the right thing. And I think that this season is really about her trying to figure out how to push through that to save the world, you know, to do what she needs to do and save the people who need to be saved.
Well, Lauren, Marcus, I feel like your characters are very, like, the supportive friends through and through. What would you give like the opposite of you, what advice would you give? Like as Scorpia, what advice would you give to Beau? What advice would Beau give to Scorpia about being a good friend?
That's a really good question.
It's nice to think about. I think Scorpia would be like, I have said before, because we've been asked before, like, who would be like a friendship that we haven't seen. And I think Scorpia and Beau would be great friends.
We would love each other. Yeah.
We would love each other so much. I actually think it's sad that we haven't, that their paths have not aligned in that way thus far, because imagine what would happen if someone who is as loyal and loving met someone who's equally as loyal and loving.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they wouldn't get along. You know what I mean? Yeah, it would be like Scorpio's just a glutton for punishment at that point. And it's like, this doesn't feel right. He needs to be running from me in order for me to feel like I have a stake in this.
Not so sure about this Beau guy.
He's got a heart on his chest.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a heart.
That's fishy.
Where did I get a heart?
But yeah, I think she would just say, keep doing what you're doing, Beau, and you know what? I see you.
Yeah.
You are seen and you are loved, Beau.
I agree, because I feel like sometimes we feel underappreciated as the loving members of our friend groups. Like, we're always there for everyone else, but who's there for us?
Who's there for Beau and Scorpia?
Yeah.
Answer? Maybe Beau and Scorpia.
Yeah.
His notes for the next season. So you can't talk too much about Frosta, am I right? What can you describe, maybe like 3 words about what she's facing this season? How would you describe?
Topsy-turvy craziness. I feel like everyone's world just gets flipped upside down in this season, and that's all. I don't want to spoil it, but that's like the best way that I can say it without spoiling anything.
Frosta also has like so much rage.
Yeah, she's like always wants to just punch people in the face. If she has a reason, she will.
She's ready.
Yeah, she's ready. She's ready with her ice fists and her ice daggers. So don't make her angry at you.
I feel like this season is like, it's kind of hard for all of us to talk about, and I feel like once people watch it, you'll understand why. But it's like it's not going to be what you expect. So I'm excited.
What was it like to introduce new characters, finally?
Yeah, we have a bunch of great new characters in this season, and I love it because they go to the Crimson Waste and they meet all these people who live there. They always thought it was abandoned, that no one lives there, that it's this death zone. So basically, someone goes there, it's a death sentence. And so Adora's like, we got to face this. And on Catra's side, she's like, all right, I guess I'm going to die. I might as well just, steal some guy's whip, but there are all of these people living there. It's actually this really rich culture full of really cool characters. And so, we meet just like the Huntara, who is running things in the Crimson Waste. We meet Tongue Lashor, the best character ever, I hear.
Love him.
And there's just also a lot of secrets. There's a lot of things that are buried in the Crimson Waste.
Like their Area 51.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's this like mysterious place. Why is it this like dead wasteland? What happened here? So there's a lot of new elements in this season, and it's always really fun to just play, upset the status quo as much as we can, and find new ways to bring out who these characters are.
Aimee, so Adora, when we met her early on, she didn't understand a lot of things in the real world, right? Like birthdays are new, cake is new. What would you like her to experience for the first time?
Oh, so many things. I think I would like for her to have a day off, like to know what it's like to just sit around and do whatever their version of like binging a TV show or just doing something super indulgent, because I think that she's been working every day since she is a little girl so I would just like for her to know what it is like to self-care, I guess, and not have to feel the burden of whatever responsibility she's facing that day. So just to feel like a just slob for a day would be nice for her, I think.
Great. I would like to keep going and pick your brains a bit more, but we are out of time. Thank you for stopping by the LA Times studio.
Thank you, LA Times.